Welcome. Time for another video from your hopefully favorite astrologer, navigational consultant, and proverbial snake oil salesman, Jim Ventura. All right, guys, this is what I want to talk about today. Kind of hinted at this subject in the last few columns and a couple of radio shows, and I want to address it kind of directly today. Today I want to talk about temperance or a lack of temperance, or what we'll affectionately call going on tilt, uh, which is probably a good way of putting it. Okay, so when we look at the archetypal cards in a tarot deck, it's more than just symbols of what's going to happen, and archetypal symbols are kind of larger issues that we all go through at different points in our lives. So, card I want to talk about today, energy pattern I want to discuss today, is temperance. Now, if you look at this card, you kind of see the angel pouring two goblets of wine or water back and forth, 1 foot in the land, 1 foot in the water. A lot of significance to the meaning of the card, so we'll get to that in a little bit. The imagery is often Archangel Michael, the Greek goddess Iris pointing a bow toward heaven. It can suggest rising like the phoenix from the mire through testing. So in its upright position, the archetypal card of temperance means like adjusting and stabilizing, cooperation, moderate middle of the road posture. It can represent like right timing, the right person for the job, right timing for a relationship, or one's philosophy being put to the test. So, it has to do with that energy of striving. I always like to explain it in the most simple way. Like when you're a kid, if you get like a glass of milk or a glass of soda, and there's an empty glass, you will like probably go through this process of like pouring them back and forth until they become even. Like this weird obsession kids will do with different things, but that's a great example. And that's a lot of the feeling that temperance has, life trials and errors to kind of moderate things and find a way to get evenness. Now, as a kid, if you're pouring the soda back and forth and you're not able to get it even, or, you knock a glass down and then you smash all the glasses and run out of the room crying. That's like a dream example of temperance reversed. Okay, so let's talk about temperance reversed. Reversed, it could be, what I affectionately call going on tilt, radical, improper actions, extremist behavior, overreacting, impatience, and irritable nature causes the bungling of things. Extreme cases, like feeling shipwrecked. Tests are failed. Lack of following one's beliefs, ethics creates this failure. It can even represent fairness, or lack of generosity. Listen, as human beings, we're going to go through both of these processes, hoping to maintain some healthy temperance throughout our life, and working on getting hopefully more temperate as we become older, more tolerant, more understanding, more middle of the road in a positive sense. But we're also going to go through, let's face it, we're going to go through the tests of screwing up, temperance reversed at different points along the way. Personally, I had a number of occasions, especially in my younger days, where that was the case. I lived with a criminal for a year in like 1990 that I convinced myself was going to be a good person, was going to turn around, and oh, that just decimated me. Like every time, I wrote about that in my first book, Dirty Little Secrets, that I wrote in my late 30s, early 40s, about like just every time I did a tarot card reading, like that temperance reverse would come up in every spread that I did when I was around that disaster, and the nonsense that went on through, conning myself into believing what everyone around me was telling me, was not the case. Listen, I dipped into mild thievery, in my younger days, and convinced myself that was okay. When I was really younger, if someone pissed me off or upset me, I would punish them. Oh God, again, the lack of temperance when I was younger, was notable. So, I mentioned that, we've all been there. We've all done that. The thing is, like, as a society, though, sometimes we kind of pat each other on the back for our lack of temperance. I always think whenever I do karaoke, I think it's a Carrie Underwood song, where she talks about like the boyfriend cheated on her and she keys his car and she throws all his belongings out the window and this, and everybody cheers and everybody loves it. And I get it, we're human beings, but listen, that's not very temperate. Someone cheats on you with something, get out of the relationship, end it. It's a blessing in disguise. What is this cuckoo retaliation attack thing that's probably going to end up getting you in jail? Keying a car, then you make up, and now you got to spend $5,000, trying to fix a car, that you destroyed. Ludicrous. 2020 has been remarkable for a lack of temperance politically. And this is both on the right and the left. I mean, I can get into specific examples, but, it has been a year of unfriending people and getting mad because someone has a different political point of view or opinion as you do. I kind of personally, the older I get, the more I think if you're extremely far left in liberal thinking or extremely far right in conservative thinking, you're kind of a little bit nuts. I mean, listen, both of them have some wisdom and some nonsense. I think, hopefully as we get, older and more mature and wiser, we find a way to understand that. Or at the very least, just accept that people may see things differently than you. So yeah, we could look at 2021 potentially and the holiday season coming up as a year to maybe learn to be more temperate. Because really, when you boil it down, when you're behaving radically and improperly and out of balance and tearing things up because it didn't go your way or you don't like it or you want something to be, a certain way. Let me give you the Jerry Springer Show example, which I do watch and find very entertaining, precisely because it's so silly. But with the extremism of people attacking each other on stage and yelling at your boyfriend, how I gave up my friends for you and I gave up my career and I took care of you while you play video games and you slept with my sister. There's no question that he's not exactly amazing here for obvious reasons, but what is going on in you that you're allowing that nonsense in that way, not just walking away and moving on with your life? So listen, we all can lose temperance and go on tilt. But I think wisdom comes when we are awakening to that and allow ourselves to have a more temperate, kinder, understanding existence, both within ourselves and with the people around us. So good potential New Year's resolution or just resolution in general for life to try to maintain more temperance. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Don't forget to subscribe to my videos. I do one about every month, as well as a radio show through Blog Talk Radio, as well on similar subjects or an expansion of this particular subject. And you can catch info about my books through Amazon or on my website at jimventura.com, as well as you can also subscribe by emailing me to get my every other month column for free. So thanks for joining me today. Happy start to the winter, and until next time, cheers.